Okay, so how are you? Hope you're fine. دلوقتي I will talk about the habitat change. I wanted to know if the habitat was like in the past or it's different. Okay, so does your habitat look the same or look like the same, and how does it change? Okay, so here we are going to do an activity. So what happened when the habitat change? Here we have like a sheet, like a large piece of paper. We need woods, we need river, and we have some of the animals. And we use blocks as a house and buildings, and build a town with a house and the stores. And then we observe by using our sense what happened to the meadow, woods, animals that live there, and infer how does the building of the town affect the animals, meadow, woods, farms, river, and people. We are going to predict what will happen if a highway is built. Okay, so how do habitat change? So nature can change habitat in many ways. Okay, so the things that happen in nature, that is God made it, may change the habitat or may change the environment. The first one, we have the drought, which means that make the lands very dry. Is a long period of time when there is a little or no rain. Plants and animals cannot live without water, so they will die. Floods or fire can also change the habitat. So we have a different factors that affect our environment, which makes our environment different and cause a change to the habitat, the place where the animal and the plant live. Okay, so we have the drought. So drought, which means that the land very dry, so plants cannot grow without water, and also animals cannot grow or cannot find the plant they are going to eat, so they will die. In case of floods also can change the habitat, which means increasing the amount of water on the land. Here we have in front of us, we can find that the land is very, very dry, as you can see in the two pictures. Here we have the animal can change the habitat, like a beavers make a dam, and the dam can make a pond. People can change the habitat too. People build houses and other buildings where the grass and plants are and trees were growing. So as you can see, this is a beaver, it's a kind of animal that like change in the land, just make here a dam. Okay, they use it as a shelter and protect itself from the other animal and protect itself from being eaten. Okay, protect some animal from being eating. Okay, so also we said how the animal change the environment, and people also use this like bulldozers to make changes in the environment, make a change in the land. So bulldozers help people clear the land to build on it, and clearing the land which change the habitat. So the habitat completely different from how it was in the past. So it's changing. Maybe it happened due to the like natural change, like as we said, like drought, like floods. Maybe it causes a change, or the change happens due to the animals, when the animals like make a change, like drilling at dams, which makes ponds. And also people use kind of machines that make dams in the land. The beaver dam block the water from the stream and form a pond. So the beaver, which is kind of animal, dam block the water from the stream and form a pond, like make an area of water. So here we have a rhino animal. Okay, so I want to know what going to change in their habitat in the fall and in winter. Ohino habitat change when the weather become cooler in fall and in winter. So water in the small ponds can freeze and trees lose their leaves and smaller plants die. Some animals such as a big brown bats find hiding places for the winter, and some birds such as robin fly like south to the warmer regions. Okay, so it depends. Okay, so this animal in the winter and in the fall, the weather is going to be cooler. So water in the small ponds can freeze. The water that is moving in the streams and in the ponds is going to freeze. Trees also lose their leaves. So some animals such as a big brown bat find hiding places for winter, and some birds such as robin fly to warmer places. But some animals go to immigration, which means they move from one place to another, immigrations, and the other find like a places which is shelter to hide in. Here we have squirrels stay warm in their nest in the winter, so they hide, they hibernate, okay, in the winter. How do Ohio habitat change in the spring? So we said that in the winter, what they do, they hide. What about in the summer? Ohio has a warmer weather in the spring and summer, and trees grow new leaves, and smaller plants make flower and seed that the animal can eat. Animals that hide and sleep or slept become active again, and birds that had flown to south for winter come back to Ohio. Okay, so birds come back in the summer. Also, the other animal, which is heron, they become more active. So birds as robin build a new nest and lay egg. Plants make flower and deer have baby called fawns in the spring and in summer. So everything is glowing and blossoming in the spring. So the baby of the deer, I call it fawns. Okay. What happens when habitat change? When habitat is changed, the animals may not be able to find the things they need. They cannot find their needs. Some animals may die. When many of the one kind die and only a few are left, that animal is endangered, which means that they may be disappear or extincted. All these animals are in danger. So here we have something will happen when the animal cannot find what they need. Okay, the habitat is changing and they cannot find their needs. They maybe die. They maybe like most of them die or some of them die. So they will be endangered, which means they are in the threat of being extinct. Okay, we have here the tigers. People hunt tiger for their fur and cut down their forest home, so they are endangered because they hunt it a lot. They over hunt the tiger in order to get their fur. People built over the marsh where cranes live. Okay, so they take the home of the cranes in just case. So they are going to leave to live in another place, in a new place. So maybe they are extended or endangered. Animals can become endangered when people hunt them or build in their own habitat. When habitat change, some animals have adaptations that help them to live in their habitat. Animal maybe find a new place to get the food. Okay, so what will happen if there is a change? Sometimes they adapt or maybe leave the habitat or die. Why do animals become endangered? Because they cannot find their needs in the habitat. So some of them die and the species become in danger. Okay, here we have people have taken over many rivers where, okay, what you can see, this is a manatee's animals. Okay, so people have taken over many river where manatees live. Fishing nets and power boats are also hurt manatees. Okay, so while they are hunting or fishing, the animals in the marine, the manatee getting hurt. People help American alligators survive so they are not in danger. So we try to help the animals that is endangered, and like a large number of them died. So we try to just save them. How can you tell what habitat used to be like? Scientists study fossil, which mean the remain of animals, to learn about the Earth's past. Fossil is what is left of the living organisms from the past. Scientists get a clue about habitat of the past from plants and animals fossil they find. Some fossils do not match the habitat and they were found in. Then scientists can tell the habitat has changed. Look at the fossil found. What do you think the habitats used to? As you can see, it's kind like the fossil of fish. How do you think this animal moved and why? Some plants and animals that live a long time still live today. Some have died out or become extinct. Now we only have their fossil. Fossil can help tell how the animal maybe looked or moved. يبقى some of animal were living in the very early time on the earth. They are died and extinct. They no longer exist. So fossil can help us to identify them, to know them. How can fossil tell us? Okay, so we can observe the shape of the fossil and we can determine which animal. Think and talk. What is the cause and the effect? What happened to the plants and animals when the habitat changed? There are a lot of things. Maybe they lose their habitat. They cannot find the food. They cannot find their needs. Maybe like a natural things that happen or animal changed the habitat. Maybe the weather was not good, so they're leaving the habitat, they immigrate to another place or maybe hide in another shelter. What are some ways where people can stay alive when their habitat changes? Maybe they can immigrate and travel from one place to another, or fly from one place to another, or maybe they are hide under a shelter. Write about how people can change habitat and what might happen. Maybe when they are overfished, they are going to hurt the animal that live in the marine life, and also they can build new places on the place where the plants live. Okay, how do close health scientists put fossil fuel together? What to do? Work in a small group. Okay, so and do some clay and cut your leaf print into 2 pieces, and you do not have to use the string lines. Trade your leaf and then use a claw in the print of each of them and put them together. So how you put together a dinosaur fossil, and how did the activity help you to know the scientist? So the clay help us to see the print of the animal. Okay, and this all for my lesson, and hope you enjoyed my lesson, and see you.